Good morning to all. Welcome to Botany Sessions. In this videos, we are going to discuss one of the 12th chapter, plant breeding, the unit 10, economic of plants or economically useful plants. Then what do you mean by plant breeding? It is a technology or science of improvement of crop breeding or crop plants with high yielding or disease resistant, increase the better quality of crop plants by employing certain plant breeding techniques. And those plant species which is suitable for the particular set of environmental conditions, these are called plant breeding. It's nothing improvement in the genetic makeup of plant is called plant breeding. And before we are going to discuss what are the techniques that are involved in the plant breeding, it's necessary to know about the economic importance of plants. How the plants are economically useful to us in many ways. What is called economic of plants? The economic of plants is nothing but it's a relationship between the peoples and economically useful plants to us. See, based on their utility, the economically useful plants are classified into many ways. For example, food plant. Then fiber plant. Then timber yielding plants. Oil yielding plants. So, based on their utility for the mankind, the plants, it's further classified into food yielding plants, fiber yielding plants, timber yielding plants and oil yielding plants. So, we are totally depends upon the plants for various purpose. Our basic needs are fulfilled by the plants. So that is why plants are called producers. We are totally depends upon the plants for the all activities of human being. So that's economically useful plants are classified in many ways. And how these economically useful plants are used in mankind different ways. They are intersect. They are connected in different disciplines of science also. For example, what are the disciplines of science that are interconnected by economically useful plants? Agronomy. It's nothing but soil management and crop improvement. That's called agronomy. And anthropology. It's nothing but study about human history and cultures. That's called anthropology. And also chemistry, trade and commerce. சிறு and பெரு வணிக நிறுவனங்களை ஒன்றாக இணைப்பதுதான் இந்த economic plants. So these are the various disciplines of science that are interconnected by the economic plants. It is such as what are the various disciplines of science. For example, agronomy. Agronomy is nothing but soil management and also crop improvement. And anthropology, it's nothing but to study about the human history and also lifestyle of human beings, nothing but anthropology. Chemistry, what are the chemical compound which is present in the plants is nothing but also phytochemistry. And to study about this chemical compound and also trade and commerce. These are intersect by economic plants. The next, what is the relationship between the plants and the human beings? From the very earlier period itself, human beings are coexisted with a lot of plants which is essential or play an important role to the mankind. So what are the plants are play an important role to the mankind in various purposes? We are coexisters. How we are coexisted? Our ancestors selected a lot of plant species from the wild sources and also collected from the various parts of the world by trial and error methods. That's a major relationships. The relationship between plants and humans, already I point out our basic needs actually it is fulfilled by plants. So our life entirely it is inseparable nowadays, inseparable from the plants because they are the producers. So such plants it is useful in many ways. For example, ancestors. Our ancestors have selected variety of plants such as medicinal plants, fiber-yielding plants and food plants. Different parts of the world are selected and it is very useful to the mankind. So because of these selections of these plants actually, how they selected these plants for useful to the mankind, it is by trial and error methods. Take for example how he selected the useful plants, especially tribal peoples. The peoples who they are found in the remote area and jungle, the tribal peoples, they are acquired a sound knowledge about the medicines. So they want to treat the ailment. Ailment means diseases. Especially tribal peoples, they want to treat the ailments by using a lot of medicinal plants. Because since their habitations are surrounded by medicinal plants. How he acquired this sound knowledge about their medicinal value? By trial and error method. So similarly, the food varieties also selected by our ancestor in different parts of the world. These are the major relationships. So if you are selected this food variety of food plants, it's led to the development of human history. Due to the invention or discovery of a variety of plant species, it led to the development of a human community as well as a human civilization also developed in many ways. How human civilization, Manitha Nagarigam எப்படி develop ஆச்சுனா because of their utilization and also use of these various variety of plant species. If you are using the variety of plant species, discovering of variety of plant species from the different parts of the world, that is make our life sophisticated. So depends upon the plant species, it make this human civilization also developed in many ways. So these are the relationship between plants and also human society. The next topic we are going to discuss what's called domestication. Domestication of plants. What do you mean by domestications? See, nearly 90% of food crops obtained from wild sources. Because of improper cultivations, improper soil management, there is a water scarcity. 90% of food crops are exist in the wild sources. It's not to be cultivated properly. And nearly 5% of food crops are existed. Total entire world depends upon this. Only 15% of food crops is utilized as a food values. Remaining species are extinct. So the 90% of food crops are existed in the world. It is bringing to the cultivations under human control. It's nothing. What is called domestication? It is a process of bringing the food crops to the cultivation or to the human controls. In addition to that, to alter the food crops. Altering the food crops. How to alter the food crops? By careful selections and the alteration of genetic alterations. And careful handling. So by these methods to alter the food crops. How? For example, selection. Selection is one of the most important oldest procedures. So we have to select the better crop plants. So it is one of the major aspect of plant breeding. One of the foremost aspect of plant breeding, selections. What is called selection? To select out, from the mixed population. Individual plant species are selected from the mixed population. These are called selection. It is one of the oldest procedure to select the better crop to improve our native crops. So selection is an important one. Another one is genetic alteration. Alteration is nothing but to make alterations of plants. How to alter the plants? By addition of genes. It is made possible through genetic engineering technologies. Now we have the ability to alter the genome of one organism. How to alter the genome of one organism? By addition of specific genes, removal of specific genes, replacement of one genes by other genes. These are called the alteration or genetic alteration. If we make the genetic alteration, definitely they increase the yielding and also it shows disease resistant to the specific diseases, pest resistant, improve the food crops, and also protein quantity of food, everything are increased. So bringing the wild food crops to the cultivation and also to making a slightly or gradual changes or takes place by careful selection and also genetic alteration, it is most useful to the people. These are called domestications. So the domesticated plant species is nothing but the plant species that are under human control for cultivation. These are called domesticated plant species. All the domesticated plant species are renewable sources. What do you mean by renewable sources? Due to human activities, the again gets regenerated and regrows. Regrow. It is useful to many ways in human beings. So, if the plant species gets domesticated, could understand? If the plant species gets domesticated means under human control for cultivation, certain possible changes takes place. So, what are the possible changes takes place in the domesticated plants? Changes. The first changes, if the domesticated plants gets adaptations. If the plant species are introduced to our country from various parts of the world, they could not get adjusted with our local environmental condition. It will take some time to get settled with our local environmental conditions. So if the species gets domesticated, they should be adapted with our diverse environmental conditions. Diverse environmental conditions. How they get adapted? See, environment is a different factors. Maybe physical factors or maybe genetic factors also there. But the physical factors, light, temperature, humidity, water, air. So the species gets adjusted with our diverse environmental condition. These are the first changes that takes place in the domesticated plant species. The second one is uniform flowering and fruiting. Uniform flowering and fruiting. See, the time of crop maturity at the same time. Uniform flowering. All the plant species are uniformly produce flowers, then followed by fruit formations. It is another changes of domesticated plant species. The third one is lack of scattering of seeds. Scattering seeds. If the plant species are wild in nature, they may easily spread out through various agents, for example insect and also wind also involved to spreading of seeds and fruits. But if the species gets domesticated under human control, there is a lag, it is a failure to spreading of seeds or dispersal of seeds, that is called scattering of seeds. It is another changes. Then other changes, increase the size of the fruits and seeds. Increasing the size of fruits and seeds. Because under human control, we are applications of a lot of fertilizers. Nitrogen fertilizers are, if you apply, they automatically increase the fruit size and also edible seed size also gets increasing. It is another changes. The next changes, bringing or changes from perennial habitat to the annual habitat. Perennial to annual habit is nothing. Most of the wild sources actually it is a perennation. Perennation by means of live for many years. How many? Based on their lifespans, plants are classified into 4 types: ephemerals, annuals, biennials, then perennials. Ephemerals, they complete the life cycle within a week, especially during the rainy season. They complete the life cycles. Ephemerals. Annuals complete the life cycle within a year. Biennials 2 years, perennials live for many years. Most of the wild plants are perennials, live for many years. If under our control conditions, their changes to annual habitat is nothing but they complete the life cycle within half month, 1 month, 3 months. So we getting yielding within the 3 month or 6 month. So to change perennial to the annual habit. The next also increase the yielding also. Increasing yielding also gets increasing. The next to produce a development of parthenocarpic fruit. Parthenocarpic fruit. Usually fruits are two types, true fruit and a false fruit. Then what is called true fruit? After fertilization. The flower become developed fruit after fertilization. These are called true fruit. The second one is a false fruit. Then what do you mean false fruit? Other than the ovary part become developed fruit. These are called false fruit. For example, apple is a false fruit. Other than the ovary. The third fruit is nothing but parthenocarpic fruit without act as a fertilization. For example of banana. So such parthenocarpic fruit, it is also called seedless fruit. Seed is not essential to produce. So such parthenocarpic producer, it is another one important changes that takes place in the domesticated plant species. Next, to enhancing color of the plant species, color of the fruit, appearance of the fruit, palatability, it is nothing but taste of the fruit and the nutrient composition of fruits also gets increasing. So these are the certain necessary or important changes also takes place when the crops are gets domesticated, means under human control. The other topic is origin of agriculture. Where agriculture gets originated. Approximately 12,000 years ago. There is an archaeological evidence also there. There's a past few years ago, there is an archaeological evidence also there. Agriculture was found in the fertile crescent regions. It is nothing, half moon-shaped regions. It is a fertile crescent region in and around Tigris and Euphrates rivers. It is a river, Tigris. It is a Euphrates. So the agriculture was developed or found in and around the Tigris and Euphrates river valleys. So these regions are called as a fertile crescent. Crescent is nothing but half moon-shaped regions. It is surrounded by, it is a Black Sea, Caspian Sea, it's a center Mediterranean Sea, Mediterranean Sea, Madhya Taraikadal, it is a Iran. So these are the region. There was an evidence also there. In that particular river, in and around river, there is a fertile regions. There is a availability of water sources, food sources also available. It is a region for origin of agriculture. So it is a clearly explained. There is a scientific foundation and also understanding of origin of agriculture. There is a region for domestication of plant species was laid down by a Greek and Roman naturalist. Greek, Roman naturalist. Whom? Theophrastus. Clearly explained. Theophrastus He was a father of plant, father of botany. Actually, he was belongs to a Greek naturalist, Theophrastus, Dioscorides. Then Pliny and Galen. These three scientists, four scientists actually, they are scientifically proved, there is evidence also there, and scientifically clearly understood by the peoples are explained. These are the region for the foundation or origin of agriculture in and around Tigris and also Euphrates rivers. It is explained by Greek and also once again and Roman naturalist. It's laid out. These are the origin of agriculture region. The next we are going to discuss what the life history of agriculture. What are the milestone or also step of development of agriculture, history of agriculture. In first 1807, Alexander von Humboldt is the first person to consider that a main sources of the crop plants are also cultivable plants. Main sources and the origin of cultivable plants, it is a impenetrable secret. Impenetrable secret. It is nothing but it is difficult to understand. It is the first was to put forward to explain the origin of agriculture, origin and also main sources of the important cultivated plant species. It is an impenetrable secret, difficult to understand. ஒரு புரியாத புதிர் கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியும்னு சொல்லிட்டு போயிட்டார். Alexander von Humboldt, he was also a naturalist in the year 1807. The next 1868, Darwin evolutionary theory proposed. Darwin evolutionary theory proposed that the origin and also places of cultivable plant species are existed through two processes. One is natural selections. Then another one is hybridizations. So with the help of these two processes, actually only the plant species are gets existed. Cultivable plant species are get existed in the world through natural selection. Then what is called natural selections? So the plant species are gets adapted with our local environmental condition. If the plant species they could not get adapted with our local environmental condition, then nature will eliminate this plant species. If the plant species are adapted, nature will select the plant species for survival. So these are natural selection. Hybridization is nothing but a cross between the two species, same species or maybe different species which are brought together to form one species. These are called hybridization. Because of these two reasons only plant species are existed. It was first put forward to explain by Darwin evolutionary theory. The next 1883, De Candolle. He was studying 247 cultivated plant species. All these plant species are useful to the mankind. So De Candolle studied 247 cultivated plant species, and the effort are made by him to explain what is the ancestor of this plant species. He solved the problem. What are the ancestors of this plant species? Those plant species are developed from where? To explain or solve the problem by him. And also what is the origin of plant species? What is the life history of plant species? Those everything problems are solved by D. Candolle through his book is called Origin of Cultivation of Plants. Origin of Cultivated Plants. So these are the books were published by D. Candolle. These books to explain nearly 247 cultivated plant species are explained by him in 1883. Next, 1887 to 1946, during these periods, Nikolai Ivanich Bablos, Nikolai Ivanovich Bablos, if he made to inventory of certain important crop plant species and their distributions. He made invention of a certain area of certain center of plant species where they gets originated. He divided, actually he proposed 11 centers of origin of plant species are he initially proposed by whom? Nikolai Ivanovich and Bablos. And this how he determined the plant species are located in the particular area based on their morphological structures, anatomical structures, cytological structures, gene structure, and different geographical regions. And based on this category, he given to the center for the diversity of the plant species. What is called center? It is a place from which where the crop plants are gets originated. That is called centers. So initially he given 8 centers for origin of and cultivations of plant species, 8 centers. Initially in 1926, Bablos to propose 8 center for origin of cultivable plant species. And next 1935, he named 11 centers. We know that what it means by center, it is a place of origin of cultivated plant species called centers. 11 centers. How he made 11 centers? A few centers, among these 8, a few centers are further divided into 2 or 3 more centers to make into 11 centers in the year 1935. In addition to these 11 centers, another added one more centers, a new center, it's nothing but USA. It is one of the mega center for diversity of plant species. New centers USA, which make 11 centers into 12 centers. Remember, in the year 1926, Bablos initially proposed 8 center for the origin of cultivable plant species. And next 1935, he named 11 centers. How he make 11 centers? Among the few center of these 8 centers, among the 8 centers, few centers are further divided into 2 and 3 more centers to make into 11 centers. Next, addition of 1 more centers to form 12 centers. This is the new centers, nothing but USA centers. So, what are the 11 centers of regions of various parts of the world identified by Bablos? It is a place for origin of cultivated plant species. For example, first one is China. So first one. Second, India. Third one is Southeast Asia. The next, fourth one is Near East. Mediterranean. Mediterranean, Ethiopia, the next Mesoamerica, I mean Central Mexican regions. This is Meso middle, Mesoamerica, South America, Chile, it's a main origin of plant species, for example, potato, Chile. Then another one is Brazilian centers. So these are the centers were identified by biologists throughout the world. These are the centers. In the year 1887 to 1943, during these periods. The next 1968, Sukoski have put forward to explain there is a mega gene centers for the origin and cultivated plant species. What do you mean by gene? Each and every characters of plants are controlled by gene. So now these genes gets adapted according to their environmental condition. By gets adaptations of the genes, there is a different type of plants gets adapted in different geographical region. So he identified gene centers. So generally he proposed the entire world is divided into 12 mega gene center for the origin and cultivated plant species. 12 mega gene center proposed by Sukoski in the year 1968. Next, 1971, Harlan proposed that development of agriculture, it is independent. The agriculture development was independently in the three different areas. In three different times or maybe same times. So according to Harlan, development of agriculture is developed independently in three different areas in different times or maybe same times. So according to his concept, a crop single species they do not have the single center because the three different areas may be developed by Harlan. So what is mean by center and non-centers? Center, it is nothing but it is a places of origin of cultivated plant species for agriculture. These are called centers. Then what do you mean by non-center? It is a place where the plant species gets introduced from various parts of the world. These are called non-center. So both center and non-center, they are interact together. By this concept was first forward to explained by Harlan in the year 1971 in three different areas. Agriculture was developed in three different areas. So these are the life history of development of agriculture. Thank you, and you watch my videos continuously, you may easily understand. Don't skip. On the next topic we are going to discuss next videos. Thank you.